What's good, YouTube? It's your boy P Money. So I've been waiting for information about this story. Now, there was a hate speech incident at Ironwood Ridge High School, and like you see, almost 2 weeks ago, the PE teacher James Hardy found a disturbing image in the locker room. When I first saw it, I was in disbelief. I was like, "Am I looking into the? Am I looking into this?" It was a hangman game drawn on the whiteboard hanging outside his office. Hardy reading the writing on the wall. It looked like the N word. You know what I'm saying? And says he reported it to the administration, and the principal says they're investigating the incident. But word of the image spread throughout the school, frustrating many students like Devon Green. "I'd like there to be more responsibility taken," Green said. On Wednesday, Green, alongside hundreds of students at Ironwood Ridge, walked out of class in silent protest. "Hearing all the students, it doesn't seem like anyone really cares," Green said. Later that day, the school opened the auditorium so students could give voice to their concerns. 75 students took the stage to talk about their encounters with racism. Some pretty bad things happened to just high schoolers, and it's pretty terrible and sad. Girl in the auditorium, people come up to me and they ask me to say the N-word when I told myself I wouldn't say it, and it makes me feel so uncomfortable. So that sounds like a white person, of course, because they just say girl. So obviously it's a white girl. You're talking about they asked me to say the N-word. Huh, interesting. Hardy says this all points to a bigger problem. Racial slurs is one reason he stepped down from his role as head football coach last fall. Oh, wow. So this school, Oro Valley, I've heard so much. I've had issues in Oro Valley. It's an area that's about 45 minutes away from where I stay at right now in Tucson. You know what I'm saying? It's also a part of Tucson. But that's where I had a run-in with an off-duty police officer telling me if I remembered where his house was, that he would kill me. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that area fairly well when it comes to like how police like to discriminate against the black people here. Now, there's not a huge population of black people here in Tucson, but it has grown immensely in the last, I would say, 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? So it hasn't really updated, but the last I saw, it's about 5%, 6% around there. You know what I'm saying? So it's not huge, but the population has risen dramatically. And so this black dude, went and spoke his feelings, you know what I mean? And it's funny that this story came out and they've tried to bury it because, like I said, this happened a while ago. They're saying 2 weeks, but it's been like almost 3 weeks, almost a month since this incident happened. And I've been looking every single day, and I finally found this because they was hiding this. I didn't know that the teacher was black that found it. They were so vague in one of the articles I read about this. And I just knew with how vague it was that it was clearly some students, some white boys, probably, you know, feeling like they're tougher than what they really are. And they do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Right. This type of stuff happens so often, you know? And it's funny right now that Tucson Unified School District is trying to get money, and they expect the government to pay them without handling this type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool that the other students, you know, walked out in silent protest, but what are they going to do afterwards? Are they going to actually help these non-black students? You know what I'm saying? If I was any of them black students, I would be like, oh, I want to be homeschooled for the rest of the time I'm in school, you know, because that's bullshit. And it's one of the reasons why I pulled my girls out, because they also in their time in school suffered from different types of racism going on, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just the students, it was from the teachers, you know? So like when I see that they're going to be devastated without those funds, I'm like, whatever, who cares, man? That's your problem. You know what I'm saying? You guys should have been better getting these systems in better place in case of emergencies. You guys were just relying on this money to come in flowing all the time and not having a plan in case that money did not keep flowing. So to me, this is their hold their own nuts type thing, man. That type of funding should be going to black students to be able to get their own schools around here. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to deal with racism and white supremacy all the time when they're trying to learn and better themselves to do better things, you know, because they're supposed to be the future, right? You know, so that's the type of thing that I think should be happening. And these schools should be on board with that. If they're so don't want black people to be in their schools, you know what I mean? They think they can just go and call people the N-word or write it on the board with the hangman, so acting like you know what that's about, being a little kid, like you seen that in your life other than on YouTube or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just that type of shit pisses me off when I hear this type of stuff all the time. And it should infuriate others as well, other brothers and sisters on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see this, it makes my blood boil, because if it wasn't for black people, these schools would be trash, man. You know, like let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's very crazy that these motherfuckers expect money all the time to write the bullshit that they do, the clear miseducation of people or these little kids. I've seen it with my daughters. I've seen it with my son. Like, luckily, I'm around to be able to tell them like what's bullshit that they're teaching you and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to Black History Month, they like to go about talking about like Martin Luther King and all that stuff, but don't want to tell you about them assassinating Dr. Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why he was assassinated. They don't want to talk about that. You know? They want to just go over one little speech that Dr. King did and not the whole thing. You know? It's just, these schools are in shambles and they know it. That's why they're always begging for money, because they know that the system that they have is garbage. You know, it's to try to keep young black men and women at the bottom, while these little dumbass kids that are that are in these other races, they get all the nice high paying jobs and all that stuff, knowing that freaking little Teddy can't even freaking read and write, and he can't even sit in a seat for more than 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's insane to me, you know? Like, it's insane how these schools they'll just issue apologies and stuff, and it's such bullshit. Like a written response that's emailed to every single industry. It's all the same. You know what I mean? We don't tolerate racism and discrimination, you know? Like, they all say the same garbage. You know? It's just disgusting. I'm sick of them talking and actually not, like, they need to be doing action. Like Devon Green said, I'd like there to be more responsibility taken. Get them little kids, whoever did that, get his ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't be up in there. And all of his little friends that's like that, they need to be, that needs to be happening to them as well. Because a lot of times when these little kids are like that. They ain't got the courage to do it by themselves. They go up there with like a little pack because they understand. You know what I'm saying? They're instinctively frightened about that type of stuff because they know it's in their culture to be fearful of black people. That's why they always want us at the bottom, because they know if we had the opportunities that these white folks get, they know we'd be at the top. They know it. So they got to keep us at the bottom. They have to systematically do stuff to us in these schools, in all walks of our lives, to be able to have a leg up on us. You know, they know it. They have unfair advantages on everything, including this. You know what I'm saying? I bet you this little boy or little boys or whoever did it, you know, they ain't gonna get nothing but a slap on the wrist. They get suspended for a few days. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that the black kids of this high school stand up and get that kid up out of there at least. You know what I'm saying? And they should think about doing homeschooling, you know? Because it's clear as day that it's a bunch of racists and white supremacists out here. It's a bunch of them. I see them all the time, everywhere I go. And because of that, they'll never catch me slipping, or my family. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this is a awakening for a lot of black kids around Tucson, thinking that these people, like, they're cool. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones that act like, oh, I felt so uncomfortable. I don't believe that, man. That's unbelievable to me. You know, like, you act like there's so many non-black people out here using the N-word on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? All over this place. Everywhere. And it's not just the white folks. It's these Mexican folks, you know, the ones that want to identify as white, because there's a lot of those, like I said previously. And there was a slick talking commenter in my video the other day talking about I don't make no sense. It makes perfect sense. It makes no sense because you're trying to deny it. What you're doing is you're not giving any substance to what I said. You're just saying, oh, that doesn't make sense. Based off what? You can come back on this video and say something too. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to lie, I'm just going to block you, you know? Because we know the Census Bureau only has 5 races and Hispanic is not one. So I love how there's a lot of people out here that say, oh, I'm a Hispanic. I'm a Hispanic. No, you're not. So that means you're white, huh? They're like, no, I'm Mexican, bro. No, you're not. Not when it comes to the Census Bureau. Not when you're marking these different races, because there ain't none. Are you marking other? I know that's not true. I know that's not happening. Because if you marked other, you ain't getting the benefits that are set aside for you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all Mexicans around here get a lot of these set asides. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to give black kids the same opportunities. Like the company I currently work for right now, they have this program at this school, and it's like a intern program. I've not seen any black kids come through that intern program. The only ones that I've seen are Mexican kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. But that type of program should be available to black kids as well. And it's not. I've not seen any company really doing that for any young black kids around here. I'm seeing little white kids and little Mexican kids, and that's it. Now, like I said, it's only the population here of black people is only like 5% or 6%. That was back in like 2019. You know what I'm saying? They haven't really done another census, I don't think, since then. But I've seen a lot more black people in Tucson, then I definitely, especially when I first got here, I felt like I was one of the only black people up in here, besides, the people that were in the military like I was, So I think a lot more of non-military people have started coming around, which is good. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of opportunity here for black people. You know what I'm saying? I feel, because they continue to build, like especially in construction. There's a lot of opportunity in construction for black men and women, if that's what they are into. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny to me, man. Very funny that I see this story, and then a few days later they come out with, oh, the schools need funding. We don't have enough funds. We'll be devastated if we don't get $1.2 billion. Like, what? Like, get out of here, man. Fix this. Fix racism and white supremacy in these school systems. How about that? Instead of asking for funding. You know what I mean? How about you do that? How about you fix the school within? You know what I'm saying? Because this keeps happening all around America. It's not just here in Tucson. It's everywhere. I've been seeing stories pop up like this everywhere. You know? So it's nothing new. This is nothing new. And this needs to be addressed. And talking isn't going to address it. Actual actions, like tangible actions that will actually make black students feel comfortable and not have to worry about some little kid calling them the N-word. You know? You're supposed to be there to learn. But clearly, a lot of these kids is there to, because they mad about the black students that's up in there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the little girls like them better, the little black boy better than them because they corny as hell, which is very often here. It's a lot of corny little dudes around here. I see them, a lot of cornball dudes. That's why a lot of these young cats is out here doing vandalism and stuff, burning stuff down, killing people, young dudes killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Because they cornballs, a lot of them, man. It's just what it is. Can be upset about it. It's just the truth, man. And I see it all the time. I look at, I pass so many different schools on some of the jobs I go to. Even in these colleges, these teachers are trash too. Like the school I go to now at Pima, some of these instructors are white supremacists. No doubt in my mind. No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? I know my son, he's also in Pima, and he's had some run-ins with some of these guys. They don't like to detail what they try to say. They ask for clarification and they get all upset like that's a problem when they're supposed to be teachers and you're supposed to be able to clear up any confusion that a student may have. But a lot of these teachers, they can't do that because they're just so socially awkward, because a lot of these guys are older. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of young teachers out here like that. A lot of these teachers are pretty old, and they have a lot of those white supremacist ideologies that they're just like, I just said it, you know what I mean? And they don't have to clarify it or anything, They get upset when people ask questions, especially black people like myself, because if I don't understand something, I'm going to ask a question, you know what I mean? And a lot of teachers don't like that. And then when a teacher asks me to give my thoughts and it's not exactly the way that they feel I should say it, they get mad, There's a lot of them like that up here, but that's everywhere. Like you're going to go no matter where you go, you're going to have to deal with that. So me being here in Arizona, you know what I'm saying? I got to do what I feel is correct for the safety of myself and my family. You know what I mean? And then if it can help other black families around here, then hey, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of time I'm on with this school stuff, man, because I've seen it for a while now, man. You know, um, both my daughters have had incidents. My son's had incidents in these school systems, and it's not okay, man. It's not okay. Like, this shit needs to be fixed, and fixed with not words, actual detailed ways that this is gonna stop happening. You know what I'm saying? Because your words mean nothing. You've lost all credibility. All these school systems, these superintendents, all of them. You guys lost so much credibility with black people because all you do is straight lie. You don't fix the problem at all. So that's why I recommend most, like, if the black kids that are in school, that are school age, should be thinking more about remote learning, man. It's just, you'll be in a much more comfortable environment. You don't have to worry about no racism like that. You know what I'm saying? And if you do have to deal with racism, at least you'll be with your family or like-minded individuals. So you guys can combat it together. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really have too much else on this one, man. Very disgusting story to me. I hope that kid suffers huge consequences for his actions, man. I don't care how old he is. I don't care. I don't care. You know, it don't matter to me. Look at the little boy that just shot up his classmates. This is the type of stuff that it's like a prelude to that type of stuff happening. Dude drawing a hangman. So you're trying to hang a black man, huh? That's what you're trying to do. So to me, that sounds like he's trying to be violent right there. You know, on top of him, that's hate speech, obviously, you know. So his family needs to be held accountable. They need to be looking into their family. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's because that stuff's taught. You don't just learn that all of a sudden one day. Nah, that's taught years and years ahead. That ideology. You know what I'm saying? And don't tell me that I'm lying, because that's not the case. We know that that's a taught thing. If you just left your kid alone and let him learn for himself, I'm pretty sure most of them would not be racist. You know what I mean? You have to teach them to be racist. You know? So whoever that kid is, little girl, little boy, whatever, little group of boys, little group of girls, whatever, we know both of them was doing it. You know? It's clear as day that this is a white kid. You know? So, and if it's not, it's a white identifying kid. So it is what it is, man. This shit is a problem. And like this black teacher said, he was dealing with racism as a head football coach, so he stopped. So there's a problem clearly at this school, you know? A huge problem. And it needs to be fixed immediately. But I don't have too much else on this one. This is your boy P Money. Tell me what you guys think, and I'm off this.